Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to the Wealth Accelerator channel here. If you like what you're hearing and you want to get some other tips and tricks on investing strategies, then make sure to go over and check out the Wealth Accelerator podcast as well. You can find it on any podcasting app that you listen to. So since we've been on the topic of 401k plans during the last video, I figured we'd stick with it and answer another commonly asked question, which is, what do I do with my 401k assets when I move companies? And I want to go over four main options that you have and then go through the positives and negatives of each one for you guys. So if you've ever worked a W-2 job, then you probably have contributed to a 401k, 403b, or something of the sort at some point. And you most likely have switched jobs during your lifetime, which always brings up the question of, what do I do with those funds? And if you've worked for the same company for quite a long time and you've been aggressively funding your 401k plan, then you might have a good chunk of money in there, and you're going to really want to make sure that you take the right course of action and you don't trigger a big taxable event that could derail all your hard work that you put in. For a lot of people, their 401k assets, it's the biggest vehicle they have driving them down the road towards their retirement goal. And we really want to protect that nest egg that you've worked so hard to build up. Imagine that you wanted to work on your physique and get in better overall shape, and you spent 15 years lifting and working out 4 times a week, and you got into the best shape ever. You had your ideal body. Then for 6 months, you just sat on the couch, drank a lot of soda, and ate McDonald's every day. What do you think would happen? Obviously, a lot of that hard work you put in for 15 years, it would just vanish. It would be gone, like it never existed. In just 6 months' time, you could be making decisions that don't match your goals and see a ton of your progress be wiped away. Well, it can be the same with your finances. Imagine you've been working in a job for 15 years, 5 days a week, putting in 40 hours a week, putting money into your 401k, being disciplined, and then you move jobs and you make the wrong decision and you see all that progress go away. We don't want that to happen. So let's make sure we avoid the 6-month McDonald's crash, and we'll jump into all of your different options here. So option 1, you can leave the funds with your old employer plan. I don't often recommend doing this. It can turn out to be a little bit sticky. You'll probably forget it's even there. Sometimes it's easy to just lose track of how it's doing. You're not going to be able to add to the account anymore while it's over there. It's basically just set there, moving up or down with whatever investments you left it in. You're probably going to have pretty limited withdrawal options. However, it will continue to grow tax deferred, and you're not going to trigger a big taxable event. So that's a plus. But again, still, not really my favorite option. Option number 2, you can roll the 401k into a new employer-sponsored plan. So by doing this, you're still going to have your money grow tax deferred. Now you'll be able to continue adding to the account, and it can just be a lot easier to manage and keep track of, having everything in one spot for you. However, not all employers will accept rollovers, so you need to have a good understanding of how the plan is designed to start. And also, you need to take into consideration how the new plan is even set up. What does the investment lineup even look like in the new plan? Remember, with the 401k plans, you're usually going to have somewhere around 20 or so different funds to pick from. So if your old company has a great investment lineup that you can choose from and that you have a lot of confidence in, and the new plan has a lot of underperforming funds and not a very diverse selection, then it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to move over all of your hard-earned money into investments that are not going to perform well and you don't have confidence in. So just make sure you understand how the new plan is built and what the investment lineup looks like before you just roll all of your funds into the new plan at your new job. Option number 3, you can just cash it out. And this one sounds awesome. Maybe you have a few $100,000 in your 401k. How fun does that sound? You get all this money, get a fat check, you can have some play money, take some vacations. Well, not so fast. I wouldn't look at it that way. That's the last thing I would recommend people do. This is my least favorite option because this could trigger a huge taxable event and really hurt your portfolio. If you cash it out before you're 59 and a half, you're going to have to pay both ordinary income tax and 10% early withdrawal penalties. Trust me, that all adds up really, really quickly. You do not ever want to have to do the math on how much is going to be left over after taxes and fees if you pull money from retirement accounts too early. I will save you the pain. I've had to do it for clients, and it's never, not one time, been a fun exercise. So don't even go down that road. Even if you're over 59 and a half, I would not advise to cash everything out. We don't want to increase your income by an extreme amount in 1 year and jump you up in tax brackets. So, like I said, basically cashing it out is my least favorite option of all 4. All right, option 4, your last option. You can roll it over into a traditional IRA. And this option is by far my favorite, and I'll tell you why. The downside of rolling the money into an IRA is basically nothing. Really, the only downside is that if you open up a traditional IRA with a bank or an advisory firm, there will be some fees and expenses, of course. So you need to have a good understanding of who you're working with, how the fee structure is set up, because you don't want to just be caught off guard. But other than that, there's zero downside. Everything else is a positive in my mind. Your money's still going to grow tax deferred as long as you move it into a traditional IRA, not a Roth IRA. There's a big difference there. But really the biggest reason that I always suggest people roll it over into a traditional IRA is the investment lineup. Within the traditional IRA, you have the world of investments at your fingertips. You're no longer locked into the 20 or so funds that your employer provides. You can select from the whole assortment of investment options that the market's going to provide you, and this is going to allow you to utilize an active management approach where you can protect yourself on the downside while still capturing upside returns. So for most people, when I get this question and look over their statements, that's my favorite option. Move it into the traditional IRA and let's get it into a better investment lineup than most 401ks can provide. Now guys, don't get me wrong. The 401k investment vehicle is a fantastic tool. I always recommend my clients invest as much as their company matches into their 401k. You want to take advantage of that free money. But if you leave a company and you're no longer receiving that match, in my mind, why would you want to be stuck somewhere where you have limited investment options, limited help and advice, and limited trading capacity? When you can have the exact same tax advantages, have as much help and advice as you would like, and as much as an active management approach as you want, while still having as many investment options as you can possibly imagine, to me, that's a no-brainer. And that's why I lean so hard towards rolling those funds into a traditional IRA. So if you would like help going over your financial goals and making sure your financial picture is set up correctly to help you achieve those goals, make sure you go over to my website at hunterlowry.com and you can schedule a call with me on my personal calendar. I would love to help you out. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your day.